Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Carte. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a fun project planned for us today. I hope this video inspires you to create something of your own. If you would, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. That helps me to grow this channel and to continue to bring you new projects. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider subscribing? And if you have, thank you very much. Well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Carte. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got a fun little project here. Remember when we got this sign and I was going to put names on there? You guys even gave me some ideas. Well, time got away and I didn't, and now I've got rust on my hands. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this, strip it, sand it, and then clean it. But I got my Dremel out. We're going to remove all these little pieces. We're going to end up wire tying between the pieces. And then we'll use our Cricut to make our names. And then we'll carefully hand paint this back on. So we're going to spray it white, but it just needs a good cleaning. And it's flaking off and all kinds of stuff. So it's time to fix this sign. So I've got a drop cloth that we're going to put under our the sign that we're working on, so that we can actually just throw the mess away, all the little sanding bits. All right, so let's go ahead and get this taken apart and see where that leaves us. So we've got this, and then I've got some more tools over here. Let's go ahead. As you can see, the paint is peeling off. So it really does need to get done. And our chickens need their names out there. So let's go ahead. I've got all of this that I got for Christmas, all kind of Dremel stuff. But let's see if we can just get it apart, get it sanded, and then give it a good cleaning. Just to help the paint to stick just a little bit better. All right, I'll get this cleaned up and then we'll wipe this down. And you saw I broke one of my brand new tips, y'all. There you go. Casualty of war, literally. All right, I'll get this cleaned up and then we will start. I'll get our surface cleaned up and then we'll start cleaning our pieces. All right, we will let this dry, and then we will go and get a coat of Rust-Oleum sprayed on both sides, and then we will paint this and then make our words with our Cricut and then get it stuck on there. There we go. This should be a quick little project. Let it dry, and then we can move to that next step of spraying our coat. I don't know, maybe we'll need 2 coats on some of it. We'll have to see when we get to that point. But there we are. That wasn't too terrible, other than breaking a brand new bit. Not even sure how that happened, y'all. Anyways, oh, it's always fun to learn a new tool. All right, so here we are. I probably will lean these so that they'll dry quicker, right? Lean them up against things. See how we can do that. Not heavy enough. All right, we'll just let everything dry. All right, my husband got our sign painted for us, so it's got a good coat of Rust-Oleum on both sides. All right, they're good and dry. So now what I want to do is go ahead and replace the black on the letters here, and then dug out my premium vinyl from Cricut. I buy very few giant rolls, but this black, silver, and white I do. So I'm going to use the black permanent glossy to put our chicken names on our little strips. And then I got to dig out some wire ties, and we're going to use just this matte black to put our letters on there, and then decide we may end up putting a clear coat over this piece here. All right, so let's go ahead. I got me my fancy dancy water dispenser. I got a cloth, and I got several sizes of paintbrushes here. So we're just going to go ahead and start. May do the welcome, or let's start here, just a little bit fainter than here, and then we can always flip this around. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a tiny brush. Let's see if I have even a smaller brush than one of those. I think I do. That one might be smaller. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. One of those to get into this. So we'll go ahead and condition our brush. Get the chisel on it. Nice point. Give our paint a good shake. I'm going to pull it back to me just a little bit so that I can see. I may go ahead and get a graphite pencil out. Maybe. Right. Let's go ahead and somewhere get our brush ready. Get it fully loaded. All right, so we got our decals cut out. And so now we will, I wasn't able to record over there. Windows 11. Whoa! Anyways, technical difficulties. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these into the individual names. Try not to cut any of the letters off. Way I can kind of line them up on the little slats. I think the size that I have, I will have one. I'll have room left over in case we add any more chickens, because we just may add chickens. So this is very simple. This is just simply text that I did in Design Space on the Cricut. That's the Cricut program, Design Space. And then sent it to the printer, or to the Cricut to cut it out. There, that's what I'm trying to say. Sent it to the Cricut to get it cut out. Okay. And again, this is premium vinyl, premium permanent vinyl, just to ensure that it stays on there. Will it last forever? Probably not. But we should get a good amount of time out of it. Alright, and now to do the weeding, which means remove the little bits that we are not going to need, right? So just leaving the decal behind. Find a corner that you can get to peel off. Alright, here's our last one to remove all the bits, right? So we are weeding our last decal. Broke my thumbnail a week ago, and it is still giving me grief. I didn't realize how much I use that nail in everything I do. Alright, pop out that E, there's the Y. Just sticking these on the back just to have a place to stick them. It doesn't really, it's not going to interfere with anything, because this piece of the backing will come off when we go to lay it. Just trying to, for it not to do that. And then I gave it a pretty good close trim, because I was trying to make my letters as big as possible over on the Cricut. but let them be like where you could really see them from a good distance. I didn't make them too thick, so I didn't want them to sort of moosh together. So, little big red and bluey. And we get big red on here. Henny Penny. Gertrude. And then big red and Myrtle. And then, oh, we'll have two. Oh, we have to go get some more chickens. Shh, don't tell my husband. All right, so that's what they'll look like. And I probably will go Gertrude over here and Henny Penny over here. Well, that wasn't the plan. There we go. All right, now let's get this thing where it's straight. And I want to put it as low as possible so that we can get our other words. There we go. There's Henny Penny. Give it a good burnishing, all directions. That way all the little edges are stuck down well. And now to try to remove the contact paper only. Marvelous. And we're going to use that for the other ones. Okay, now that we've got that on there, big red. Okay, is it straight? All right, so let's make sure that we've got the contact paper on there good. Attached to our vinyl. And now to try to remove the backing. Okay. Alright. So we want it to be something like this. That's good and dry. Alright, so let's open up this package. So I think I want to do it this way. That way the do thingy can be in the back. These had the flaws, so that's why I picked the other side to be the front. All right, let's see how we're going to do this. I'm not going to tighten it all the way until I get the whole thing assembled, and then maybe I can, or get both sides done at least, that way I can line this up. So let's do this. So I can get the gap between them the same. So if we put that on that line, and then let's go ahead and get this one going. So we want it to be separate, but only by a smidge. It wants to pull it together, so maybe we just put it together. This one didn't go on. This one I made it too tight, so thank goodness we have a lot of these. Right, there it is. How about that? All right, all I have to do is clip the tails, go mount it out there in the coop, let my husband decide where he wants to put it, and this will be a one and done project. How about that? All right, let me see if these are going to cut, if I got to go get some cutters. All right, here we go. Alright, my husband came in and critiqued it just a bit, so we're going to tighten those. And then as I look at them, they're pretty evenly spaced. So then what I want to do is cut these off. Do those, and we'll say voila. And they do hang evenly when they're hanging up. Alright, voila. And I think he wants to just screw the top in when it's out there, just so it's, you know, in case of a storm or whatever, it's in there secure. So, wow, how about that? It had started to rust. There's a little bit, you can see some of the damage even still, but I think it's going to be, it's got a good coat, a good thick Rust-Oleum coat on it. And we've got our Big Red, our Henny Penny, which is my husband's favorite, but I happen to like Big Red myself. And then Gertrude and Myrtle, call them Mert and Gert, and Bluey and Little Big Red. And we have room for 4 more chicks. How about that? All right, there you go. How about that? Just a little quick refab on the sign for our coop. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, like it. Share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider subscribing? And until next time, happy crafting. I'll let my husband get this hung up for us, and then I'll get a final picture so you can see what it looks like out there on their coop. How about that? I like how this turned out, y'all. I think they're really easy to read, and well, there you go. All right, until next time.